All right. Um, Today we're going to be making a peer-to-peer video calling, streaming service, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, you can just follow along. Um, yeah, so I guess we could just hop right into it then. So one of the few things that I should probably write out is that, oops, I don't need that. This is going to be using It's going to be using Peerjs, so we're not going to be actually making the protocol part of that. We're going to let offset that to the package in JavaScript. And yeah, let's just dive right into it. So first thing we want to do is that we want to self-sign some certificates because on Chrome there is no uh, video or any media device without um, without using HTTPS. So without that, we can't get video input. So we're going to start with just doing that. So what you want to do is go into VS Code, load up your project. Let's just go to a new folder here. Folder, video, Peer-Video-Calll. So that's what I'll call it. Call it whatever you like. That's what I'm going to call it. And yeah, we can start off by setting up our environment here. I like using Vite for the front end, and we're just gonna build a website in Vite, put the distribution to outside the folder, and then serve that directory, the distribution directory, straight to straight to the user using Express. So that's kind of how that's gonna go. So start out with a terminal here. I'm going to go ahead and split this into two here. And on my left one, I like putting the server, so we're just gonna do npm init -y. Install our backend packages, which are gonna be um, Peerjs, as well as as well as what is it? Um, oh, Express, right? So right off the bat, we're almost done with the setup. Also gonna do an npm install Vite. Oh no, npm create Vite at a front end. Now to create our front end there, we're going to use React, use whatever you like. I like using React and TypeScript. So we're almost done setting it up. If we go into our package.js, we just need to make our development script. And all it's going to do is run our program main.js inside Node. And that would be the end of this file here. We can go into our front end and we need to set up some stuff that I like disabling off bat. First, we're gonna move our uh, actually we'll ignore that one for now. We're going to here. We're gonna set no unused locals to false, and we're gonna say no unused parameter to false. Now, disabling it here isn't the only place you have to do it. You also have to do it in tsconfig.js. Set that to false. Set set that to false. That'll be the end beneath that. I might come back to this. I believe we'd be in here though, and thought it was in here. What did I do to make that? What the heck? Oh, we have to do npm install. Whoops, I forgot about that part. Yeah. And our build option should then appear, I believe. So we'll check. We'll check that. All right, so let's check our, yeah, there we go. Now we can set our the out directory to // distribute, and we're also going to set out empty out directory to true. That way this clears the directory, then outputs our build there. We're just going to test that real quick by running npm run build. And we get our direct distribution folder, which is perfect. That's pretty much all the setup we need. Now we can go straight into developing. So we're going to make our backend first. And we're going to need a couple of things. So we're going to need HTTPS, which should be in by default. So you should be able to require like so. We're also going to need Express. We're also going to need Peer. I can't type right now. Peerjs. Sweet. You also look at, oh, actually, I don't think it's called Peer. I think it's called, what is wrong with this? Peer, it's called, I thought it was like Peer Express Server or something. I think it is just Peer though. So we're almost done with that. We also want to import OS because we want to be able to see what port or what address we're running on. So we want to import OS like so. And as far as our imports go, that looks like we're almost through. Oh, we also need one more thing, which is scores. This will disable like checking in the browser and all that kind of nonsense. I find it's just good to set it up and just parse it as everything because the default options are trash. Yes, Express Peer Server. Express. Oh, this should be Peer like so. Did I install the right thing? npm install Peer. Okay, I think I installed the wrong thing. If we do Peer, yeah, we see Peer. Now we should see Express Peer Server. We actually do npm uninstall Peerjs to get that out of our directory. A couple other things we might want to do is fs. So we require file system. We also need to require path, so we can combine stuff. So we're gonna set up our Express app by using this. Goes Express. We're gonna use we're gonna set up our distribution directory here with app.use @/express.static, and this is just going to be a path. So path.join. We're gonna add our name and distribute. So this is on our website there. There's a couple more things we got to do. For example, we also want to get our interfaces, so we can automatically tell what interface we're using. So we're going to use const interfaces equals os.network interfaces, and then we're going to check the keys of that. So net keys is going to be object.keys of interfaces. Now for const net of net keys, we want to do our const network, so it's equal to our interfaces of the net. Now we can iterate over each network for const a net of network. I believe so. And if so, we can just understand what this even looks like. We're trying to do console.log interfaces. This should be all the Wi-Fi interfaces we have. So I should be able to run npm run dev here, and we should get this JSON here, which is just yeah, JSON with our networks as keys and our objects here. So the cool thing about it is that we can take the internal, we can take family, oops, and we can make up a automatically just print out what this computer is running on. So we can do console.log, a little bit of string formatting, running on, we could specify here if a net dot internal, we just want to add that this is internal, otherwise it's going to be external. We also want to skip some of these. So if it's not a net dot family equal to IPv4, if it's not equal to, we just want to continue right past it because we don't even want, if we can't use IPv6, you know. So now we're just gonna go running on. It's also gonna be HTTPS because of the aforementioned problem with Chrome. So it's gonna be HTTPS//our anet.address. Oh, and at the port, which is, we have to specify that as well. Port. Let's do this. So at the top, I'm gonna put port here. We're gonna use 89898. That looks right. So we have a net address at the specified port, and this should give us all our networks. So we can actually clear out of that. We can run dev here, and we should see we have all our external, internal IPv4 addresses. And if we were to run this and go to that, which we'll do in a second, you'll see our website, which we have made here, pop up. So to run our, actually to even run our server, you know, we need to do we need to specify that our server is indeed HTTPS. So we're gonna do HTTPS.server as the one our arguments at app. Our arguments here is going to be key. I think it's just key, right? Alright, we'll do this. Const key goose fs.read file sync path that join at our dir name and our key here. Oh, we can make our key. Our key is going to be this command here to generate our keys for us, which is cert.pem as well as that's our certificate. We want the key there. Our certificate will be fs.read file sync path.join dir name at certif.pem suite. So yeah, this is just the current directory we're in, and this is the name. And we want to read that file, then, well, that's the path of the file, then read that file, and that'll be our key. It's also good to specify our encoding here to UTF-8. Otherwise, sometimes it reads as a buffer. I was like, oh, what the heck I'm gonna do with that? Yeah, I think we should be able to specify that now. Yeah. So certificate is going to be cert key. Now you can actually just do that, which will go. But this is also a JSON object. I think JavaScript has like built-in destructuring there. So now we need to set up. This is now our server setup. Now we just got to set up our peer.json our peer server, which is also not that complicated for us, at least, since we're already using their service. Express Peer server. Now, if you don't want to make a backend like this, you can always use the free Peer backend, but this is just fun, you know. So we're gonna set the bug equals true. It's not really necessary. And we're trying to make our set this at the default path. So it has its own internal path. We don't want to mess with that. So we'll leave that alone. And we're going to do app.use. We're going to set this at our route peer. It's going to be equal to peer. Now I think we just got to use server.listen on that port. And this is our backend finished. Pretty much. We also need to specify cores up here. So after here, cores app.use core. Did I not import that? What is cores? And we're just gonna do allow headers, everything, methods, everything, origin, everything. Origin is also going to be everything. Methods also everything. Keys and certificates. Server. Peer server. Listen. On peer for peer. And then listen on for website. This is going to be our backend, right? So we do npm run dev, right? We should see this should be for all caps. We should see our website go up. Sweet. Now if we do control and click on one of these, we should see our website appear. Now this is also is going to, since it's self-signed, it's going to tell you blah 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 unsafe blah blah blah. But there's our basic website. Now we can work on the front end, which is going to be this part here. So if we move on to our front end, right, we actually close out of that and we take a look at our sources. We're going to go right into the index.css and the main CSS, index.css, as well as app.txs, right? Now, I don't like having the CSS on the same, like in tabs like that, so I like to do like this. We can delete all of that. We can delete that since we don't need it. We can go into index.css, delete all of this except the root. We're going to open up app.css and we can delete everything in here except for root, which we're going to modify in a little bit. And we're almost ready to work on the peer-to-peer connection. Now that we have our backend, actually I should bring that up here. Just have it over there. We'll actually close out of that now. We can go into here, and we're actually going to run npm run dev here, and go to our development server. If we go to here, we should see that all of the stuff we just had is gone, which is different from over here because we just had those things. So over here, we deleted it all. So now we're working on our front end here. Essentially, what we want to do is just modify some, just make a general layout here. We want to do, let's say, just to mark it down. We want 2 videos. We want to do video streaming. We need a place to input our peer ID, so we need an input field. I'm going to specify a placeholder as peer ID. And a way to submit that ID is just going to be a button. All right, I'm going to put call there. Inside of here, we actually should wrap all of this inside some div. Now, semantic. If you know anything about semantic, blah blah blah, HTML, blah blah blah, this is like bad practice, but I like doing it this way because you can also get I like doing it this way because you don't have all the you can really just throw over a new name and you have a bunch of new rules. And we're gonna call this one peer container. It's gonna contain all our peers. And so if our peer container there, we're gonna say the display flex. Display to flex width is going to be 100%. height is going to be 100%. In our videos, we want to modify those as well. And I like putting a little bit of padding on the first item. So we're going to do first child. Set our video, we want to make it, set our aspect ratio to 2 to 1. I like doing that. We're just going to set the width to some amount. So I'll do 400 pixels. And that'll, no, max width to 400 pixels as well. This will have everything looking nice. We're going to give our first child a little bit of margin at the top. We're going to specify it as 2 to 5 reams. That'll look nice. Flex direction should be column. Oh, to make our video visible, we're going to, if you go here, we can't see anything. We're going to make our video a little bit visible by adding a border temporarily. So 2 pixels, solid red. We don't see anything because we still need to set some stuff up. And if we go into our root, we should do this on root, and our body. Run with 100 VW, height 100 VH. Now we get that. Once we overflow to hidden, that is cover. If we go into our index.html, we should see that our body here and our root there. So if we go back over here, we have our root and our body all specified that. Actually, I'm going to delete this too. I don't need those rules. And we're looking pretty good. If you look in our elements here, we can see what's wrong with it. So we have our peer container, which isn't, it's just not the correct height, as well as our root, which looks fine. So we just need to continue setting this up. Okay, let me type any of that. Right. Right. So sweet. Sweet. Actually, that was actually a little strange there. Peer container is a strange size. So we named it incorrectly. That's why. Sweet. Now we have that looking nice. Nice. And then we're just going to justify content center, align item center. We're actually going to set that to, I think it's when we'll start. Yeah, start. Now we have our peer ID. We can call them, and we have this, which is what we want to see. I might try to make that a little bit bigger. That's fine. All right. Right. Sweet. So now that we have this, we're nearly done. So now we just got to make the actual calling part, which is not the hardest part. Oh my goodness. All right. So now we need to make the actual part here. So we're gonna swap out these videos with our video. So we go in here. We can make our own video here. Sweet. Specify our video props here. So ideally what we wanted to do is that since we have our custom video feed, we're going to have a lot of custom behavior. One of them is mute. We need to be able to mute something or not. So we're going to specify mute as a boolean. And we need to also set our string here, which is going to be a media string, which is a built-in type. So We just set that there. So we need to set that. We need to set the muted to our props.mute, so we can mute the mic or whatever. We also need to set uh, our ref here because we can't directly set media type. So we need to set that through a little bit of custom code. So we're just gonna do ref, and we're gonna say that's a video ref. We need to import that here. So we're gonna do use ref there. Const video ref is going to be equal to use ref, and our type is going to be an HTML video element. Set this to null because it's a ref. I'm not sure why we have to do that because null undefined are technically the same thing. I'm going to add our use effect in here, which is going to allow us to react to whenever a value change. So inside here, we want to change whenever props dot string changes. So const a string is going to be equal to props dot string. And if we don't have a string, we want to return. If we have a string, we want to set video ref dot const video equals video ref dot current. If we need to have both the video in the reference. So if there's no video, we also want to return. Man, I can't type today. So now we have that. We need to set the video ref value to something useful, which is going to be checking my notes here. Give me 1 second. It's the source object to some string. So we want to look at video ref video dots video dot source object is going to be equal to a string. That'll be the media string, and that's going to be our video. So this now is done. So now we have our video refs, our custom videos. We can now get on to using our, we can now work on the connection now. So Peerjs has a lot of stuff already predefined. So we just need to make our custom state handler. We're going to call it use peer. It's also going to have its own input. So props peer props. All this is going to do is make a peer object and return a peer equals use state. Then inside our state, we're going to add a peer. We need to actually import peer from peer. We actually need to do we actually need to install Peerjs here. Yeah, I installed the wrong Peerjs. So we need to actually install Peerjs here. Now we can do npm run dev again. And so from Peerjs, we want to install peer. And now we have our type peer. This should be an equal sign. We can specify, we could do all this now. So a peer, set peer. Now we use our use effect. Set our use effect here. We only want it to run when something else changes, and we can return a peer. So now we need to make this. Only thing it needs to do is make a peer. And how do we make a peer? Well, I need to check my notes again. So inside peer, we need to do a few things. We need to do a few things. So we just need to make a new peer and then set that peer to our object. And our peer object it's just going to do a couple of things. So one, we need to make a new peer. Const peer equals new peer with a couple of options here. Our host is actually going to be slash, so because this is the front end. If we make a subsequent request, we just need to make it to the current address of the user. After that, we specify the port. Our port is whatever port we actually don't need to specify that. I don't believe we need to specify that because that's a part of the address. What we do need to specify is path, and that's going to be at peer. Where did I get that from? That is from here. So if you change that, you got to change this. And we need to specify that it's secure. Otherwise, we won't even be able to use the app. So this is like, is it HTTPS? It is. You might be able to get away with on like other browsers that doesn't offer any like user protection with false and HTTP, but I couldn't get that to work. And now we do the very important set the peer equal to peer. That is basically it. So one thing we need to specify here is open, and open is going to be a function that takes in an ID, a type string, and we also need to do a couple of things such as clean up here. So what this is that our peer dot on open, we need to just call props dot open. Yeah, we could just you could just do it like that. And then we need to clean this up. So on peer dot remove listener open. There we go. And that's it. Oh, it's not even at our dependency. In our dependency array, we have to add props dot open. So when open changes, voila, we get a new prop. Now this peer object that we're going to use with us. So we need to specify my peer as equal to use peer at props. We need to add like open set ID. So every user is going to have their own ID. So my ID set my ID, which is just going to be a string. We need a peer ID set peer ID. There's also a string. We need a my stream set my stream, which is going to be of type media stream, which is the type that the videos use. Const when I have a foreign string, which is the other user string. So set foreign string, which is also going to be a type media string. I'm going to replace that with set my ID. And now we need to also do a couple of things here. We need to get the peer ID and set the peer ID. So in our peer ID, we need to do a const input. We'll do ID ref equals use ref of type HTML input element. Specify that this is null if you got to. And inside our input, we're gonna do ref equal to ID ref like so, and that'll be the end of that. And on our button, we're gonna do an on click set peer ID. That we will be setting it to the input value there, which will be, let me think, ID ref dot current question mark dot value. That's what that's going to be. Now we have the general setup. We can now put nearly everything in its place. So we always want us on top here. we always want our video on top. So inside mute, we also need to mute our video, or you're going to hear me talking to yourself on your device, which you don't want. Set that to true. We're also going to set our stream equal to my stream. Mute is going to be false because I'm fine. Set stream equal to foreign stream. So now that we have like the general idea, if I go back to Vite, I should see my stream somewhere. Oh, we got to actually do the stream stuff now. So right. So use effect. We only do this run once when that website loads. Inside this use effect, we will load our stream. We need to answer a stream. We also need to call up here. So how do we load our stream? Well, there's just basically one way. We need to ask Google Chrome, can we load our stream? Or to the computer on our device anyways. So how do we do that? Well, we got to use something called a navigator dot request media devices dot get display, get user media, is it? Yeah, get user media. And there's a couple options we want inside of there, which is audio as true, as well as video as true. The result of this will be the promise, whatever. So actually, we can remove that. This is a promise. We just do that in stream set my stream equal to stream. What happened here? Did you want to catch that error? We have an error, console.log failed to make a stream. Sweet. Now that we have all of that, if we go back to the development website, we should see us appear. It might not because I currently am using I don't think it will because it's currently busy. We also forgot to do peer.destroy. Alright, so we actually have to do one thing, and that's specify that our port is actually 9898, which is what we get from up there. So that was important after all. So we're going to break that down. I'm going to rebuild this. And once we finish rebuilding, we can test it out. I'm going to run our develop program here. Sweet, and we have that plus our ID. Now, I'm going to try and do it on my phone as well. We're just gonna give it a call. Sweet. Okay. So now that we have it working, That is the demo done. All right, that is the demo done. um, I, yeah, I haven't. I'm calling off the same device, so it's kind of messed up. There, I dropped the call on my phone, and now it's just frozen there. All right, so yeah, that's the Peerjs demo.